How to make an Arduino cell tower traffic meter. Get an NPN transistor with a 292 case, and with that 292 NPN, make sure the sensitivity on the base is less than 0.5 amps or volts. 0.5 volts. You should be more like in the millivolt range. Hook the base up to a coil of wire about maybe 7 or 10, 0.07 or 0.10 millimeters of copper wire sheathed motor wire, which is about the size of a pencil lead in a pump pencil. Get that and loop it. Connect two ends and then coil it. And attach the bare connected ends at the same position as a node on the base of the transistor. Then hook the collector up to 3.3 volts and then hook the emitter to the A0 analog input in the Arduino Leonardo. And then what you want to do is write a script in the code to oscillate a signal. You want to read the Arduino A0 constantly, and then you want to pick a high medium number out of all of the reads that fluctuate in the waveform. You're going to get multiple units on the analog read that are going to pass through in new lines. You want to print this to serial in new lines. Each of your Arduino analog reads in new lines. It's just serial print new line, and then analog read 0. And as you do that, you want to pick a number and write an if statement. If analog read 0 is equal to a specific number on the high end of the unit spectrum of analog read, somewhere in less than max, pick that number and then tell it to print a word that indicates that is a meter line in your new line. You want to make a new line of a word that prints that analog if statement. And whatever that number is, say 620, unit 620 on your analog read. Say if analog read 0 equals 620, then print the word that shows the signal meter. That is your meter. How many ever times that appears over 1 second, you want 1,000 millisecond or 1,000 millisecond delay. Every 1 second you want that to print, and that will gauge up your amount of time that it measures an off synchronized signal. If every 1 second your signal that originally printed is not 620, it'll show that. But when 620 appears, a new line will appear and show you how many times 620 appears in 1 second, or in so many seconds every second. And then that will meter that one point in the position of all the spectrum, will meter how much signal is in a cell tower in your remote location. It reads meta signals. This setup does. So you want to try to gauge it with 1 point on the spectrum. And that is how you make a cell tower traffic meter.